Hi guys, Steady Eddie here on a nice sunny day in England, yes? Well, that's unusual, isn't it? Okay, so today what I want to talk about is 20 things that you will hate about travelling, okay? Now, I know that sounds fairly negative, you know, as someone who has travelled quite a lot over the years. I love travelling, it's a wonderful experience. But if you're thinking of doing anything like this, I just want to put you in the picture that it's not all fun and games, it's not all rosy, and there are certain things that will get on your nerves, okay? So, now I got the idea for this when I was doing one of my live streams the other day, and I just mentioned as a little additional item that there were a couple of things that get on my goat, really really irritate me, annoy me about travelling. And all of a sudden the people in the chat went really crazy with this idea and came along with so many suggestions of things that annoyed them on travel. It seems that, a lot of people get annoyed about a lot of things, okay? So, I know it may sound negative, just trying to put you in the picture. 20 things that you will hate about travelling. Okay, so number one, your flight has been cancelled. Well, that was a good start, wasn't it? All right, we may as well pack up and go home, okay? Well, flight cancellations, at that moment when you book your flight on the internet, do you not punch the air? Yes, I'm going, I'm going to be travelling soon. Well, in this day and age, it's difficult to do that because there's always some kind of trepidation in the background. Let's be realistic. This is post-pandemic, and flights are cancelling left, right, and centre for a variety of reasons. I currently have a flight booked. I want that flight to be there at the time that that it's what I booked for. Okay, flight cancellations. I'm tempted to say you've got to learn to live with it, but you shouldn't have to think like that. Flights shouldn't cancel. But nevertheless, these are the times that we live in, and I hate it. We'll add number 2 to this one. Flight time has changed, okay? You picked your flight meticulously because it suits your schedule. And then as it draws closer, all of a sudden you get that email to say, your flight is now changed. It's not that time, it's this time, okay? Yes, which is all very well, except when you booked your coach ticket or your train ticket or however other means that you were going to get to the airport, it's bloody inconvenient, and I hate it. Number 3. Okay, now this is not all about flights, by the way. There are other things that I hate about travel, but we'll get the flights out the way to begin with. Flight delays, okay? Now you've gone through all the hassle of getting to the airport, and you're sitting there and you're looking at your flight on the screen, yeah? You'll have a beer or whatever. The next minute you check the timetable there, and your flight has been delayed by 3 hours. Okay, yeah, fine, been delayed, but I'm not going to take that lightly. I mean, that's 3 hours. I mean, geez, all this amazing technology that they have to make aeroplanes, and they can't seem to get the bloody fly on time. Why is that? Okay, so that's another 3 hours of sitting around the airport and eating more food that you don't want to eat and drinking more beer that you don't, it's Jesus Christ. It gets on my nerves. Flight delays, number 3. I hate it. Number 4, airports are a rip-off. They are an absolute rip-off, no two ways about it. They are a Taurus trap, in other words, because once you're in the departure lounge, it's not as if you can go anywhere, and if you are hungry, you've got to pay their prices for food and drink. Nobody can convince me that $10 or even $12 for a bloody beer is justified. Airports are a rip-off, and I hate them for that. Number 5. Check bags versus carry-on bags, okay? Now, if you pay for the check bag, you don't always have to pay for a lot of long-haul flights, but quite often you do. If you pay for the checked-in bag, that's a 20-kilo suitcase. Your carry-on bag goes with you, fine and dandy, okay? What I want to know is, why can't there be something in between? I mean, nobody needs a 20-kilo suitcase. But then, you know, a carry-on bag is not really big enough for the stuff that you need. Why can't there be something in between? Instead of paying 60 bloody quid for a checked-in bag, why can't you pay 30 quid for one that's half the size? Wouldn't that make sense? Number 6. Okay, now I'm a bit sheepish about saying this one because I don't really like this subject, but it was suggested to me when I've done the live stream. Well, this is the thing that a lot of people do hate. Screaming babies on airplanes, especially when they're sitting very close to you. Okay, no, I know that's terrible. You shouldn't say that. You know, kids have got to cry and all that. Except when you're on an 11-hour overnight flight from Rio to Paris, and there's the same crying kid right throughout all 11 hours, and no one has got an absolute wink of sleep. Then try telling yourself then that that's a cute little baby. Okay, now. You know, I suggest this a bit, you know, about things that you hate, and so many people mention that one, so, you know, don't be blaming me. Number 7, running like the clappers through airports. Yes? Yeah, I've done that a couple of times, and it's not very nice. When you do connecting flights, always make sure that your connection has got enough time for you to change aeroplanes. If it's a 1 hour connecting flight, you know, in transit, 1 hour may sound good, okay, off one aeroplane and then onto the other aeroplane, very, very swift. Except your first flight is likely to be half an hour delayed. So it doesn't give you an hour to get to your other flight, it gets you half an hour. You try doing that. I have been in airports where I've had to run like the clappers, like a bloody lunatic, and at the end of the day, when I actually get onto this airplane, I've been covered in sweat. I hate that. Why do flights not run in time? An hour connection, you know, an hour transit, bloody hell. Don't settle for anything less than 2 hours. I've been there, done that, and I won't do it again. And one final mention about travelling on airplanes, yeah? Something else that I hate. Absolutely hate with a vengeance, that selfish, inconsiderate piece of horse manure who's sitting in front of you, who suddenly decides to recline his seat back right into your chest without even bothering to ask for your permission, ask if it's okay with you. He doesn't give a damn, this selfish jerk. Okay, so we've talked about airports and airlines and all that kind of things that annoy us, yes? Okay, so how about after that long journey, you finally reach your destination, the moment that you've been waiting for, that moment when you enter the hotel in a foreign country, and then you whisk off upstairs to crash out in your hotel room. You're so looking forward to that. You are tired, exhausted, and you just want to be left alone in that hotel room, okay? So you arrive at reception, but before you can do that, all of a sudden the receptionist shoves a bloody form out to you. Could you please fill in this with your name, your address and all the other bollocks? I mean, for Christ's sake, I did not come all this way to fill out a form. They've already got my details. They've got them. Just let me go to my hotel room and crash out. Okay, so you're hitting the town that night for the first time. Nice, lively seaside resort or city, whatever. You've arrived in this foreign country. You're taking an evening stroll along the main strip with all the bars and restaurants, yes? Okay, and you're hungry. So there's a lot of restaurants there. They've all got different choices. So you want to stop off outside to look at the menus. It's on a big blackboard outside, you know, what this restaurant is serving. So you just want to... you don't want a meal at that very moment in time, but, you know, just get the feel of things, okay? So you're looking at this board, this restaurant, you're studying the prices, you're studying the food and all that, minding your own bloody business, and then some waiter spots you from inside and runs out to strike a conversation with you. All the usual rubbish, where are you from and all this kind of stuff. Man, I just stopped back to glance at the restaurant menu. That's all I want. But he wants to drag you in right there and then, and he tries to make you feel guilty if you attempt to walk away. Well, that's exactly what I do. I do walk away. And you know what? He's just done himself out of a potential customer there, because if he wasn't so obtrusive, I might have gone in. Number 11, Ripoff Restaurants. In some countries, what you see is not necessarily what you pay, okay? VAT, they will add VAT onto your bill. Why can't they just, charge you for what you've had? They add VAT. And there's also a case where waiters will come up to you at your table and say, would you like this as well? Would you like to add this to your meal? Sort of like making out it's like on the house, or it comes with the meal. No, you're going to have to pay for it, okay? They're inviting you to have things which you haven't ordered and which you're going to have to pay for, okay? If you get an establishment like that, just make damn sure that you don't go in there again. Number 12, tips, okay? Now, I'm a good-natured guy. I give tips for the good service. If I'm watching a live band or whatever who've entertained me, I give them a tip. I tip, waiters and taxi drivers and whatever, if I like them. But what gets me down is that in some countries, they will expect you to pay an exorbitant tip simply because you were a foreigner, okay? You were a tourist. I mean, I remember once I was on a train, a sleeping train, going through India, and, a bunch of Indian doctors gave 10 rupees, to some of the young lads who were waiting on them on the train, okay? Fair enough. I was the last one to get off the train. They come to me and they wanted 200 rupees. Yes, that's right, 200 rupees. Bloody opportunistic. Well, they got 10 rupees, okay? That's the way it was. I might have given them a few more if they hadn't been so bloody cheeky. Number 13, Mozzies. Mozzies? Bzzz, those kind of Mozzies. You're sitting there at a bar in some tropical country and you're scratching your bloody leg. Oh, they get on your nerves. I mean, the bastards won't leave it alone even while you're sleeping. In some hotels, you have to keep the doors and windows closed. Otherwise, the Mozzies will get in. Oh, my God. Just make sure that you take tons of insect repellers with you. And if you have to wear shorts, just take lots of insect repellent and keep the Mozzies away. You never know. You may be the unlucky one who gets one of them who's got some kind of very, very nasty disease, okay? Keep the Mozzies away. Number 14, taxi drivers. Right, now, I have respect for taxi drivers. They perform a valuable service, and at the end of the day, you need them. I mean, if you're having a night out in your own country or in a strange country, you really, really need the services, and they have to put up with a lot of crap from drunken people and awkward customers and all the rest of it. The fact is that in foreign countries, I seem to have had more run-ins with taxi drivers than other people. They will say, their meter is broken, so... and then they'll charge you, an inflated fare at the end. Please make sure at the outset of the journey you set the fare. But then if you try and set the fare with some taxi drivers in a foreign country, what do you get? No English. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Some drivers will rip you off. And it's in some third world countries they can be the worst for it. Also, you may be dealing with a currency which you are not used to. They are used to the currencies. They're used to it, but you're not quite used to it. If you have to give them a note to pay the taxi fare, and they give you a smaller note back, that note, whatever they've given you back, make sure that it is still legal tender. For all you know, it could be an old note that is not even recognised by a bank anymore, or is valueless. I've had a few run-ins with taxi drivers, but I wouldn't recommend it. Take all precautions to make sure you don't have an altercation with the taxi driver, because in some foreign countries it doesn't always end well. Number 15, I hate armchair experts. These will lead you totally astray, give you the wrong impression of a country. Armchair experts will tell you the place is dirt cheap. You spend next to nothing there. What they're not telling you is that they personally haven't been there. They're going off the information of a friend, of a cousin, of a brother-in-law. I can't stand armchair experts. If ever you're getting your information from an armchair expert, always ask this person, when did he personally go there? Or if he did, then when did he go there? If he's telling you that a place is dirt cheap, then it's quite possible that it was dirt cheap when he went there 30 years ago. Armchair experts, I can't stand them. Please, question your armchair experts, or better off, don't listen to them at all. Number 16, touchy-feely countries. I've come across these. There are some countries where they like to get a bit up close and personal with you, male or female. In Britain you'd get arrested for that. But in some countries, they think nothing of hugging you and kissing you and all this kind of stuff. Not always to my taste. In fact, quite often I hate that. In one country, such a Middle Eastern country, I had a haircut. Yes, I went in there for a haircut. A couple of guys cutting my hair. One of them, cutting my hair. The next thing, he's giving me a head massage, and then without me even asking, he's giving me a shoulder massage, and a chest rub and all that. For Christ, the way things are going, he's going to finish off with a happy ending. I mean, for Christ's sake, touchy-feely countries, be aware of that. I hate them personally, but, some people don't mind. They think it's all part of the fun. But, be aware if someone's getting a bit touchy-feely, just tell them that that's not the way you do things in your country. Number 17 on the list of things that I hate about travel. Okay, being asked the same old questions time and time and time again. Sometimes it's damn annoying, sometimes it's very annoying. I tend to find Thai girls can be like this in bars when you just want to, a quiet drink. Now, I know some people may think that I'm a real misery guts here, but, you're having a quiet drink at in a bar in Thailand. A girl, comes close to you, and strikes up a conversation. Same old questions. Where are you from? England. What is your name? Eddie. Artie? No, Eddie. Archie? Okay, we'll settle for Archie. And then it's, how long your holiday? Well, I don't know how to answer that. I'm kind of travelling, I don't know, I haven't decided yet. How long your holiday? Oh, I don't know the answer to that. Oh, good almighty. Okay, so a bit of a misery because they're only trying to be friendly, but, quite often, I just want to be left in peace. I hate same old questions. Gets on me bloody nerves. Number 18, aggressive selling. Okay, everyone hates that. I hate it, everyone hates it. In some countries, they're quite notorious for that. I tend to find, some Middle Eastern countries and places like that. They're quite, notorious for aggressive selling. It could be tailors' shops where, you pass by and they want to shake your hand and they won't take no for an answer. Gets on your bloody nerves. In some countries, even street hawkers can be very, very aggressive. I tended to find that when I was in the Philippines, they were really quite aggressive street hawkers. You tell them that you're not interested, and the next thing they want to pick an argument with you. They accuse you of being nasty or whatever. I mean, it's just they see you coming, these people, and they're very, very well versed in what they're saying to you. Just beware of them. Learn to see them coming before they see you coming. Number 19, tourist traps. Okay, now you get them all across the world in every tourist centre. Now, a lot of people flippantly use this phrase, tourist trap. A lot of people describe places like Hoi An in Vietnam as a tourist trap. I don't see it that way. Historical places, can be expensive. The food and just everything else can be more expensive than what you would expect. But at the end of the day, you don't have to pay. You have to buy it. You can visit these places without buying anything. It's quite possible. So I don't really see historical places, touristy places, being real tourist traps. When I hear the phrase tourist trap, I think of those seedy bloody strip joints, all that kind of stuff that you will get in places like Eastern Europe. I mean, the fact is that, I was in Krakow a couple of years, for an example. A couple of years ago, I was in Krakow, and these very, very polite, very, very nice young people were around the main touristy square, and they were, boys and girls, they would invite me into a strip show, And, they seem very, very polite young people, harmless enough. Well, believe me, once you enter one of those shady places, the people you will encounter there are not nice at all. They will rip you up big time. They will charge you a massive amount. They will overcharge you, exorbitantly. And if you haven't got the money, they will get aggressive and they will march you over to an ATM. Avoid those places like the plague. They are the real tourist traps. I hate the idea. These are bad people who run these places. Just avoid them like the plague. do not entertain. When any nice young people, approach you, remember, they're not nice young people. They're trying to lead you into a tourist trap, okay? So, send me peace on that one. Okay, so, number 20 on the things that you hate about travelling, yes? And it's number 20, it's last, and yeah, definitely last. In fact, it's bloody diabolical. Number 20 about the things that you hate about travelling is touts. Touts, you get them everywhere. In every tourist place, you will get touts. They want to take you on an excursion. They want to pester you. They will want to follow you. Some countries are worse than others for touts, but basically, touts are there to try and rip you off. Sometimes they will befriend you on the street with words like, "Hi, my friend, where are you from?" They want to shake your hand. Complete bloody stranger, okay? They're not your friend. They're trying to rip you off. They are trying to lead you into a tourist trap where you'll be stung for a lot of money. Remember, every tout gets commission for whatever he takes you. If he recommends a restaurant, he'll get a commission. If he recommends a tour, then he will get a commission. If he really hits the jackpot, he will lead you into some kind of seedy tourist trap like we just mentioned a moment ago, and then he will get a whopping commission. Okay, do not fall for the touts. Touts are not your friends. They are sly people. I tended to find that in Istanbul you get a lot of touts hanging around the tourist areas, and oh my God, they get on your nerves. They know exactly what to do. I feel angry that some people actually fall for this sort of stuff. You should know the script with these people by now. Yeah, some countries are worse than others for this. I mean, places like Morocco, Egypt, they're notorious for this kind of things. Touts just... And sometimes these sly people will not just try and befriend you on the street, they will try and they will deliberately hang around certain bars where they know tourists are, and they'll try and strike up a conversation. They'll have a beer with you as well, try and be a friend. Of course, you'll have to pay for all of this, ultimately. I found that one of the worst places for touts that I was ever in was Ethiopia. And, touts, they will follow you everywhere to try and get you to go on these tours. In fact, there was one person, one guy, he seems to appear everywhere that I was. I've seen him in a bar, I've seen him in a cafe. I'm sure he was following me around. In fact, and I've never ever known this anywhere else, he even came and knocked on my hotel door. That's right, the actual room that I was staying in. He actually entered the hotel, and the people there, whether they were in on it, told him which room I was staying in. So he came and knocked on my bloody hotel door to say, "How about that tour? Are we going on it tomorrow then, are we?" How cheeky is that? Avoid touts like the plague. And remember, if you're in a country where, a well-versed tout approaches you and wants to shake your hand, "Hi, my friend, where are you from?" Remember, he's not your friend. He's a sly person. He's trying to rip you off. And do not shake hands with him. I mean, just as a matter of fact, you don't know who he is, don't shake hands with him. Besides, you don't know where his hand has been. Okay, so there you have it. 20 things that you're likely to hate about travelling. 20 things that I personally hate about travelling. Now, I know some people may be thinking by now, this Eddie guy, there's some good information here. He gives good information. Or you may well be thinking, this Eddie is a miserable bugger, for Christ's sake. He puts years on it. Well, whatever you think, okay. I'm entitled to my opinion the way that you're entitled to your opinion. So if you are planning on travelling, whether you've travelled extensively before or whether, you're planning on doing it for the first time, just remember some of the things that I've mentioned, and I hope it proves useful. You can't always avoid these things that you hate. Sometimes you have to just learn to live with them. But if you're aware of them, then, it's all to the good. So I will be packing my bags pretty soon, my next little travelling adventure. I cannot wait. So in the meantime, I will say thanks for watching, okay? Keep thinking positive. Peace, love and goodwill to everyone, and I will see you in the next video, okay? Cheers.